You have to feel a little bit sorry for car manufacturers who've been making EVs over the past 10 years, because the amount of arguments against EV ownership have multiplied really over the years. They're too expensive, they depreciate too quickly, I can't charge them at home, and chief of all, they don't go far enough on a charge. Now, Mercedes, with this, the new CLA, is aiming to make that last argument deader than an asthmatic dodo in a sandstorm, because this can do nearly 500 miles on a charge, and it costs about £45,000 for a basic one, which isn't bad. So, is this the future of efficient electric transportation, or is it going to be a dodo? Let's find out. Yes, £44,500 get you an entry-level Mercedes CLA in sports trim. 48 grand gets you an AMG line, but a few options will take it above the £50,000 luxury car tax threshold though, so be careful. But whichever one you get, you are getting an 85 kilowatt-hour usable battery with an official range of anywhere between 460 and 480 miles. You also get 320 kilowatt fast charging, so you can get from 10 to 80% of a charge in 22 minutes. So it's electrically very clever. But is it actually a very good car? Now, looks-wise, it's very clear that Mercedes' designers have gone to great lengths to make the new CLA look like the sort of haute couture handbag you'll pick up in a mall in Dubai. So that's why I've parked it in a cow poo puddle in Surrey. But anyway, yes, look at it. You've got a light-up Mercedes badge and these Mercedes triangles all over the grille, and they do different patterns and things. And you've got a light bar across the front, and you've got LED headlights on all models. They get upgraded to LED matrix ones on the top spec AMG line Premium Plus, or something like that. I don't usually talk about the looks of a car, but I do find Mercedes' electric car design language means they all look like bars of soap, and they all look a bit anonymous and a bit samey. This one does stand out a little bit more with that light bar, but I guess that could also look like the back of a car. Make your mind up and tell us in the comments whether you think this looks good or like it deserves to be in a deeper puddle. The CLA's whole raison d'etre is to be as efficient as possible, which is why it's this wonderfully swoopy shape. It's 4.7 meters long, which is the same size as the outgoing petrol CLA, but this one does weigh 2 tons with that 85 kilowatt hour battery. You get 18-inch wheels on it if you get the entry-level sport model or the AMG line model, but if you get the AMG line Premium or Premium Plus, you're keeping up, you get 19s. Now, if you get that entry-level sport model, you get normal door handles, but if you get in the others, you get these flush-mounted door handles which pop in and out, and which have been banned in China recently for reasons that you'll have to search on the internet that involve catching fire and getting stuck in your car. But don't worry about that. It says Mercedes-Benz on them, which is very nice. Welcome to the front of the new CLA. Oh, sorry, this was red. It's the back, isn't it, this end? Do you see what I mean, though? This is almost exactly the same as what you've got at the front, but you've got this light bar with these slats in it. You've got triangles and circles as your tail lights there. And again, it just looks a bit slightly anonymous. It can tow 1.5 tons though, and it is a saloon with quite a small opening like most saloon cars get. You have got a 405 litre boot though, which goes that way really quite far, and it's got some nets at the side, and under the boot floor you've got a little bit of storage for tyre gunk and things like that. So it's reasonably practical so long as you don't have to get a big suitcase into it. However, there is a CLA shooting brake coming back. It's going to be another electric estate car, hooray, and that will have a much more practical boot than this. The interior of the new Mercedes CLA is said to resemble a Zen garden, and I sort of get it. It looks a little bit like the raked gravel around a Japanese temple here on the center console. 50% of the material in here is post-consumer recyclable stuff, so it's been used before, which is good. But the rest of it sort of descends into modern-day Mercedes shiny chintz, which probably looks lovely if you think a holiday to Dubai is the height of culture. Yeah, I don't really like it. You've got a 14-inch screen there, a big 10-inch digital driver's display there. They're actually really nice and easy to use. You've got your usual wireless CarPlay, Android Auto. You can change all of the ambient lighting through different themes, and it's very easy to turn off the speed limit warning bong by just tapping up there. So I like all of that. You've got lots of haptic buttons on the steering wheel, which are just a little bit fiddly. I don't really like that. There's too much going on, but you've got some actual buttons down here for things like muting it, activating your cameras, and you've got a wireless charger on AMG line models upwards. Now, this is perhaps the most egregious bit of car interior design I've seen in recent years. It is a whopping great rectangular bit of plastic with purple Mercedes triangles all over it at the moment. That's because if you get the top spec AMG line Premium Edition Plus Plus Plus. That is a passenger screen that they can use to adjust the infotainment system themselves. I wouldn't really bother. You've got the world's smallest glove box. It's not half width, it's just not very deep, but you have got big door bins there, cup holders here which clamp things in, and you've got some quite deep storage under there as well. So it's reasonably practical, it's very comfortable, and it actually feels very nice and costing at night time with the ambient lighting. But in the harsh light of day, things like these air vents, they just look and feel a little bit too cheap for my liking, and it is just a bit chintzy. So I want to quickly show you two extra surprises the CLA has up its wizard sleeve. You've got a nice frunk here as well for storing cables, and also you can't see this, you might be able to hear it. It does play spa music very quietly when it's unlocked. You're never going to hear this, but this car just plays this gentle sort of music like you've just walked into a nice thermal spa somewhere in Germany. It's very relaxing. I don't know why it does it, but it is a musical car. There are some pretty big trade-offs that Mercedes have made to make this car aerodynamic. First of all, is the fact that I just don't fit in the back of it. I'm 6'3", my head is jammed quite uncomfortably into the panoramic roof, and I'm not even trying to sit all the way back. Secondly, the rear windows only go down yay far, which is not great if you've got kids who feel claustrophobic in the back. And also, it just feels very tight in here, and the seats are kind of making me rock towards the middle of the car. So I'm really not very comfortable. I haven't got loads of foot room. I haven't got loads of leg room either. That is my driving position. There's a flat floor, I guess, for people walking through. If you've got young kids, you've got two USB-Cs down here, and you've got the same slightly flimsy feeling air vents that you've got in the front. The ISOFIX covers are easy to find behind these flaps, but they pull off. I'm not sure they're meant to pull off, but that one has pulled off. And you've got an armrest in the middle, which, yeah, is mostly plastic, so you've actually only got a tiny bit of squidge to rest your elbow on, but at least there's somewhere to wedge your phone so you can look at it at a really awkward angle. The seat backs are very upright as well. It's just pretty terrible back here, all things told. Not great, Mercedes. Ein bisschen scheiße. Going for a drive in the Mercedes CLA is as easy as startling a hamster with a dragon costume. There's no start button, you just pull it down into D or up into reverse, and then away you go. Now, in terms of actually living with this, it's easy to see out the front, quite thin A-pillars, and actually quite easy to see out the back, which is rare for such a swoopy shape. And it feels quite narrow and quite a small car. It's not a big S-Class or an E-Class, it's based on what is essentially an A-Class platform. So it feels small and easy to place on country roads. Now, you will notice that the door mirrors are absolutely tiny, but you can position them very easily to see exactly what you need to. Slight annoyance that I have had with this car, the window switches. There are only two. They've done a Volkswagen and they've cut corners. You have to press the rear button to then operate the rear windows using the same two switches. It's just cheaping out and it's quite annoying. But actually, to drive the CLA is very comfortable. It's very refined. For a small, affordable car that weighs 2 tons, this rides really quite nicely, and it's quite enjoyable to drive as well because it's rear-wheel drive and you can actually feel it. It will push you out of junctions and out of corners. You've got a 272 horsepower electric motor on the back axle. 0 to 62 is a brisk 6.7 seconds, and it will go on to 130 miles an hour. But if you drive it normally and carefully, I've easily been getting 4.5 miles per kilowatt hour out of this, and it's 6 degrees at the moment. It's really quite cold, so I expect when it gets closer to 20 degrees, you're going to easily get 5.5, maybe even 6 miles per kilowatt hour out of this, and that's when you get a real world range of getting close to 400 miles. I don't think you're ever really going to get the full 460 miles of range, but you might come close when things warm up. Now, if you pull the column shifter towards you, it increases the brake regeneration, and you can push it away from you to completely remove it so you coast along. So that's quite nice. It's also nice and easy to turn off the speed limit warning bong by tapping up there. It's just a very easy car to live with, and yet one that's surprisingly fun to drive as well in the wet. So I've really enjoyed my time with the CLA, to be honest. The only thing I would say is it's okay up front, but as we've seen, the back seats are less than ideal unless you're a child. And I am a child, but physically I'm not. You get some quite fun synthesized noises when you put your foot down, and they do change slightly when you go down here, which is a bit of a reach, to be honest, and pop it into sport mode. and then you get a bassier noise and a more instant throttle response. But I would just leave it in normal and try and get as much efficiency out of the battery as humanly possible. Let's head back to me for a conclusion. Okay, I'm going to start my roundup on the CLA250 Plus by talking about the things that I like. I like the fact it is really quite efficient. Getting 4 miles per kilowatt hour is child's play in this, and I think you'd get closer to 5 in summer. So a real world range of 400 miles I think is probably going to be doable. I also like the fact it's a very comfortable and easygoing car to drive. It doesn't feel too big, it doesn't feel too wide, but the downside of that is the back seats are pretty much useless and it just feels very narrow in there. And the boot is obviously a saloon boot, so it's not going to be massively practical, and the looks, I guess, are very divisive. However, I think Mercedes has done quite a good job of bringing to market an EV with a really good potential range for under the £50,000 luxury EV car tax bracket. Yes, I know it's a lot of money still, but in the context of other EVs, in terms of range per pound, this is one of the best ones out there. So there we go. If you've enjoyed this video, please give us a big thumbs up. Subscribe to the Motorpoint channel because we've got more reviews of nice cars and muddy laybys, to be honest. And yeah, go down to the comments and in German tell us whether you would buy this car or something completely different. Maybe a motorbike. Motorbikes are good. Yeah.
Danke.
Danke und tschüssi tschüss.